Guys, we got to talk about the watch and who it belongs to at the end of Hawkeye episode 4. Like, Rob and I have been kind of sifting through, trying to figure it out. But before we talk about who it may belong to, we got to talk about how we got there.
Yes.
And obviously, the watch was at the auction in episode 1.
Yeah.
It got taken by one of the tracksuits. We found it in Echo's apartment.
We did.
And the person that got us there was Laura Barton. And
by the way, I forgot her name was Laura when he was texting her. I was like, who is Laura?
You cheating bastard.
You mother sucker.
He's got a side piece in New York. But like, it's such an interesting anecdote now because we had this character who's kind of been in the background and kind of been clearly the motherly figure and like a great wife. She's helped him along the way. She's like, ice your shoulder, make sure you're doing this and this. But now she's getting stuff for him. She found out Jack was the head of Sloan Ltd.
Yeah.
She found the location of the watch. That seems like a lot more than just, a stay-at-home mom who lives on a ranch. So, Rob, what do you think about Laura? Could she be tied into something else in the MCU?
All right. So before, Laura, we never questioned Laura in the MCU and how Hawkeye and her became a thing.
Yeah.
Now seeing this, it's like, all right, she has these skills, obviously. Where and when would Hawkeye ever have the chance to meet a girl? He's not on Tinder. There's no superhero Tinder. He's not at a bar. He's not in some jacuzzi or a bowling alley. He probably met her working at S.H.I.E.L.D. She probably was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Okay. She could be working for S.H.I.E.L.D. And that's how they met and all this kind of love. She knows everything about him and the relationship with Nat and why it's so serious. Because I'll be honest. If I'm a stay-at-home husband and my wife's a superhero, and she keeps talking about this guy, I'm like, what's going on here? Huh? I don't know about this. But obviously she knew Natasha, right? Yeah. Besides just being friends and all this kind of stuff. Because Natasha knew they had a whole family together. Yeah. So it makes sense that she was a S.H.I.E.L.D. operative. I don't know what capacity. I'm assuming obviously retired because S.H.I.E.L.D. disbanded. And she's not working with S.W.O.R.D. But she still has these skills and all this kind of stuff. And it's not like she was missing for 5 years. She didn't develop these skills while she was gone. She was blipped out of existence. So all these skills happen pre-blipped, right? And this is not just something you could do using Google. These are actual spy skills that she has.
Yeah, and the other side of it is she tied to a B-C list superhero from the comics?
What do you mean?
Well, a lot of people, and there's a hint kind of possibly she could be Mockingbird from the comic books, which is kind of a S.H.I.E.L.D. level hero, working with Nick Fury a lot, working with S.H.I.E.L.D. a lot, was a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a long time. Mockingbird kind of has the blonde hair and these giant wings. She kind of sails on them.
Dude, that's a great, because Mockingbird and Hawkeye used to be married. This was before my time, but they used to be married in comics, right? I know and this is a different character's name, but for the sake of the MCU and simplicity, she could have been Mockingbird, or maybe that could have been her code name in S.H.I.E.L.D. She doesn't necessarily have to be that character and that superhero, because at this point we're having too many street level people that could do this kind of stuff. I don't see her being a superhero giving up her kids. I can see that being her code name, but that could be I like that a lot.
Maybe. I agree. I don't think we're going to see her, right? I don't think we're going to see her in a Mockingbird outfit and coming back in the fray. But like you said, it totally could be a code name. The way we saw Falcon was a code name for Sam Wilson back in Winter Soldier when he was introduced, and he was the one who trained in the Falcon suit. It could be something similar to that. But here's a big question about Laura and this thing that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about yet.
What's up?
And so we kind of now know she has these skills, right? She's been able to pinpoint, she's been able to do this.
Obviously.
There's a line Clint has in episode 4 where he's like, it's the shot I didn't take. That was the best shot of my life.
Yeah, wasn't he were talking about Natasha not killing her?
What if it wasn't about Natasha?
Oh.
What if it was about Laura and meeting Laura? Because in the comics, right, Hawkeye was a semi-villain. And he was part of this kind of crime syndicate kind of thing.
He had a dark past,
What if Laura wasn't a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she was on a dark path and he didn't kill her because he got her out of it and they fell in love and it was like a happy ever after story? What if it's not Nat?
I see that. That's cool. I think just for simplicity of story and driving home the Nat Clint trauma.
I think it is Nat. I'm just
okay. That's fine.
Because I think it is definitely Nat, because it came full circle, right? She had the red on her ledger. She owes Clint a debt from Avengers.
And we know something about that watch shows this person's identity who's been out of the game for a while. this leads me to believe that this watch, I think, like, in the MCU, once belonged to Captain America. It was Tony's watch or something like that. Every fiber in my being is like, what if there's some connection to Matt Murdock, Daredevil?
Oh,
right.
Interesting.
Which I understand, like, Daredevil's confirmed, and if he is in this, he is active in action. You could almost argue that, like, he's been out of the game for a while. His secret identity's there, and, like, Hawkeye knew, and I guess maybe Tony knew for some reason. If
the only thing I could think of that is maybe they were working together when he was Ronin, and that's something we didn't see. That's an off-screen situation. I think Murdock.
Before even. I think before Hawkeye was starting to look into the Kingpin stuff and didn't really do it. Then Netflix stuff happens, blip happens, Daredevil goes away. Not Kingpin though. Kingpin stays. He's out of the game. He comes back. And Daredevil's like, I don't want to do this. Like, I need to just get my head straight. I'm gonna go train. I don't know what's been going on for 5 years. Been out of the game. Identity revealed. Matt Murdock. Boom. They can do this. That I understand is a stretch, but I like it.
That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, I like it, but it is definitely a stretch because of how quickly Matt Murdock was just announced, and this series has been made for like a year.
It could have been part of the plan. Yeah.
I kind of myself, I was kind of sticking to something you mentioned earlier, and that was Tony Stark, and more kind of respectably because the watch is an older watch. It's a Rolex, but it's an older Rolex.
Okay.
More specifically, I think it might be Howard Stark's watch, and I think it might be something that was a family heirloom for Tony. I think we're gonna find out a bunch more about Tony Stark's stuff and what he was doing, and kind of like, hey, like, now that Batman's out of the Batcave, what's going on down there, really? Right?
Yeah.
I think all of the arrows that Clint has, the trick arrows, we know in the next episode, there was a little quick teaser, he's going to need a lot more trick arrows to finish this off.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stark has made those arrows for him. I think Tony Stark made all that stuff. I think that watch could be something that was like an emergency beacon / unlock something, but I think there's going to be Stark tech involved in this watch. It's an old Rolex, right? It's not a digital watch, but yet it's trackable.
But like, I'm with you there. But like the thing is, like, so if we focus on the Tony side, right? It's his watch and all that kind of stuff. The line that like it belonged to somebody who's out of the game and they can't do it. Like, as much as I like the Laura thing, I think he's more concerned about him bringing threat and damage to her versus Laura's secret getting out, right? And it's obviously Laura knows who this person is.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, is there anybody else that you could think of? I can't think of anybody else at the moment. Like, that was a former SHIELD agent or like street level person that they may have worked with, or Hawkeye knows that, like, that's who it belonged to, because like Tony gave it to them as a gift, because like Tony worked with him or something like that. I don't know.
The only other connection would be Agent 13, would be Sharon Carter. She's an ex-SHIELD agent. She's in Madripoor. The watch looks old, kind of like what Cap had.
Maybe.
That might be a stretch because she's like wheeling and dealing in Madripoor and is like a villain right now. But that's the only connection I could see, where if Laura was a SHIELD agent, maybe she knew Sharon Carter in some capacity, because they worked in the office side of things.
Okay.
Or were on a mission together. Who knows? But like, if that's the case, could Sharon have put, SHIELD tech in there? It's an older Rolex, but with SHIELD tech, like, almost like a James Bond watch, right? You rotate the thing and like the car comes or something. But there's something about this watch. I think it has to do with a big time Avenger, Rob, because it was in Avengers Mansion. It was in the Avengers compound, right? The tag on it from that, auction was Avengers compound watch. There's something about that watch, whether it's an identity of a character we do not know, the identity of maybe like a Laura character, or a secret from Tony's past that's going to maybe come to fruition with this watch.
But guys, those are just some of our theories on who we think the watch belongs to, with the connection to the MCU. We definitely need to hear your thoughts down below, because it could be anybody at this moment. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, comment down below who you think owns the watch and the significance of the watch, if anything at all.
And guys, thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, like, really helps the channel out a lot. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more of our Hawkeye coverage or any other coverage that's coming out. And if you missed anything, check it out on the channel right here. And as always, I'm Chris, that is Rob, we are the Jersey Comic Crew, and we will see you next time.